Welcome to the Rasslecast Power Hour. I am 1/3, sometimes 5th of your world podcast tag team champions, Hyphen, aka Not Handsome Bane. And what I would normally do at this time is pass the rock on to my dashing, daring, debonair host, Handsome Bane, but he could not be with us tonight. So, with that said, I will then pivot and pass the ball to Marc Rob. What's going on, Marc Rob?
Yo, it's your motherfucking boy, the Marc Rob, aka Sean Mad Love, aka Gordon Darks, aka Himbo Slice, aka Big Sexy Kevin Splash, aka Flavor Ramon, aka Bollywood Bulk Bogan, aka Yams Bigelow, aka The Real Mark Mero, aka The Meat, aka The Rumble Royale with Cheese, aka Diamond Dallas Beige because content is forever, aka Lisa Shoot Larry, aka Baquan the Chef because do you smell what the Mark is cooking, aka Southeast Side Gun.
Like, we're still going? Okay.
We're still going because I skipped the Grammys 36 years straight to watch wrestling, aka Larry July. Don't check me, check the hair follicles because all y'all using Beijing way too much. You're over 31 years old, you got gray hairs, just accept it. Also, Jalen Rose, stop cheating on the hairline. What the fuck is going on?
Ooh, okay. Dang, Marc Rob. So, I'm glad you're in the building. But we also have a guest in the building tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have...
Y'all ain't got no Jamaican air horns or nothing? No pew, 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 nothing?
Our soundboard belongs to Handsome Bane, so...
That's no fun. All right, I'll make my own Jamaican air horns. Fuck you mean? Thank you.
That was really good, Hyphen. That was really good.
I appreciate it. Effort was there, man.
Yeah. So we have Gabii here.
Pew, 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 pew.
And Gabii, I know personally. Okay, I don't know personally. I know her from our fantasy wrestling group, and yes, it's a thing, and yes, it's going on like what year? This is the 4th year because I wasn't in the first year. So. Yeah, so we have a fantasy wrestling thing. It's coming down to the wire. We're all scrapping for position, and Gabii, actually, you won 2 years ago, right?
I did. Yeah. We did win.
You and your husband. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabii is here because, one, she likes wrestling. That's very important to be on the Rasslecast Power Hour. And then
is it?
It is.
I mean, I feel like it should be, but I mean, this is your podcast, so what do I know?
But then two, Gabii, I just discovered, is also out doing the social media thing, putting herself out there as Hi Gabii. And talking about wrestling, man. So Gabii, there's no better way to segue than how did you fall in love with the art form that is professional wrestling?
Oh my goodness. So I am the only girl. I'm surrounded by boys. I have brothers, cousins, neighbors, and I was literally the only girl. So obviously I did whatever my friends were doing, which was watching wrestling. What that meant is that I was the youngest, and that meant that I also got put in a lot of figure fours, a lot of sharpshooters,
of course, a
lot of unnecessary wrestling moves because I was the smallest and I was dumb. Like, yeah, sure, you can put me in a figure four.
Yeah, I'm down.
Been there.
I'm sure. What's a figure four? I'll show you. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
My father clamped it on me a few times, so
I mean, who hasn't received a figure four or a sharpshooter in their life? A super kick.
It's a rite of passage.
I think that it is, and I think all kids deserve a super kick at some point in their life.
I've definitely done a sharpshooter on
some more than others.
Yeah,
some more than others.
Some need to be have it locked in for real.
So yeah, that's how I got started in wrestling. I stopped watching, I think like we all do at some point, and I got back into it when I met my husband. He had his son is, I think was like 8 or 9 at the time. So he was like strong into wrestling.
Right.
So I got back in it at that point, of course. And he's now 15 and he's kind of out of wrestling. And we tried to keep kayfabe alive in the house. And then one day he was like, yeah, this shit is fake. What the fuck is going on?
Oh no.
Yeah. And that's how that happened. And
I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret. If you like wrestling when you were younger, you usually come back.
You always come back, right. And I am now back full time.
Nice.
And now I have a
Okay.
1-year-old, and we're actually taking him to WrestleMania in a few weeks. So
Oh,
we'll see how that
snap.
works out.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a suite for WrestleMania.
Oh, you got a suite for
All right.
WrestleMania?
So how we did it,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to tell y'all my secret, but
Okay.
I'll tell y'all my secret.
Okay.
So we bought floor tickets originally, right? And then we saw that floor tickets were going for like triple the price. So we're like, sell them bitches and buy the suite. So we sold them for triple the price and used that money to buy the suite. But we still get the perks of having the floor seats. So like we're still getting the chairs for that
Right.
you get when you're on the floor.
Right, which
Because
is what a lot of
that's
people
still
do.
registered to our name, and we're getting the
Yes.
suite. So the suite kind of paid for itself in a sense. Everyone's like, "Oh, y'all big ball," and it's like, "No, we're just hustlers," and we flipped some tickets.
Right. That's so smart. That's so
Shout out
smart.
to the flip.
Have you been to Mania before, Gabii?
I have never been to a Mania. No.
Oh, you picked a
My
good
first
one,
live
Susan.
event was NXT Takeover Philly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was my
Okay.
first live
that
event.
floor seats?
We took. No, those were not floor seats. They were good.
Okay.
They were not floor seats. And then I've been to a few AEW. I went to AEW's first show ever in Washington D.C.
Oh, wow.
and I've been to a few AEW shows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference versus WWE and AEW? Because obviously everybody knows that there's WWE style and then there's just professional wrestling style. So as a spectator, do you have a preference for one or the other?
I make an effort to watch more AEW than I do WWE.
Okay.
I will say that. Because I feel like with WWE, I could miss a week or miss a show, and like I have not lost a beat. With AEW, miss one show and you're screwed.
Yeah. It's very easy to fall
And
behind.
that
on
is
AEW.
not necessarily a fault of AEW, but it is like something that AEW needs to work on storyline.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
But
I like AEW, but I think that they have a lot they need to work on overall.
Okay. I'm kind of the same boat with AEW. Like, even when my favorite wrestler of all time, CM Punk, came back, and I was like, oh, CM Punk's wrestling again. And I started watching AEW kind of regularly. I was like, when's CM Punk going to come out? That's what I was waiting for every week. And while I enjoy a lot of the wrestling AEW, and I still do, I do feel like their roster is too large for how young they are as a company, and I feel like that forces a lot of people to be away from TV when they don't need to be, and then as all of a sudden they pop up with somebody and like oh yeah, I haven't seen you in like 2 months because they've been focusing on Hangman and
You're like, where the
Mox.
hell is Nyla Rose? Where
Good
the hell
question.
is Sunny Kiss?
We
You
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
Nyla.
Sunny Kiss in like 6 years.
Right.
He shows up he or she, I don't know what their gender is.
Yeah.
They show up whenever it's convenient for them to show up.
Mhm.
I just think that they need more than another 1 hour show. Like, and honestly, I don't watch Rampage. I will read the dirt sheets and I may catch some highlights on Thursday morning, but like, I'm not watching Rampage.
Nothing
Sorry.
ever happens
Just
on Rampage. Like,
nothing quality ever happens on
No.
Rampage.
No, absolutely not. Other than the fact that we were recording when CM Punk came back, and so
That's right.
yeah, we were recording. That was the only big thing ever happened on Rampage. Well,
And even then, that's the reason why we watched Rampage. It wasn't because Rampage was on. It was because it was the worst kept secret that Punk was coming back. So we watched it.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is, I mean, what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like build your audience to like do these things. But like, again, that's the reason why we watched Rampage. It wasn't because Rampage was on Friday night.
And now
Let's be
at
honest
least
ourselves.
Rampage is like Jade's show at least now. So like normally that's where she normally wrestles at. Oh.
Which is unfortunate.
Okay, so you think she should be over on Dynamite then?
I think that Jade needs better quality opponents. I think she needs like more
Yeah.
than a squash match every other week.
Yeah.
I think she needs to build her reps, and she's not going to get it on Rampage fighting some random local enhancement talent. Especially if they truly, I get they're protecting her and trying to make her this big star, but like, let's be honest, it's padded. Yes, 53-0, but like, how many real matches of the 53 has she had? Has she fought Britt Baker? Has she gone against Jamie Hayter? Has she gone against like true talent? But that's a debate for the day.
Well, no, we don't need to wait because
No, I mean,
because I feel like Kellen, didn't I ask you guys like she's doing nothing but squashes and like how long can you squash the squash?
Right.
You know?
And it sucks because I really want Athena to take the strap from her. I really wanted when Athena came back and challenged her, I was like, bet. we on it. We got Athena. And that match was hella awkward. So like
Yeah.
it just didn't work out that way. And they built up Red Velvet to come back. And I actually wanted her to break the match. And it didn't happen either. So it was like, what's happening, guys? Like, I need you all to piss or get off the pot.
Yeah,
Because I'm bored with it now. I'm literally bored with it. And I think she's a great performer. I think she has great potential. But, like, I'm literally bored with Jade. And I hate saying that because I love supporting a Black woman who's out here doing a thing. But, like, fuck, man, give me something.
They're going the same route as what got Goldberg. I mean, obviously not to compare the talent-wise.
And it's crazy.
but
Me and my husband were just talking about that. Like, they're giving her the Goldberg treatment.
They are.
It's not going to work out in her favor. It's not
and it's
going to work
the
out in her
same thing
favor.
that happened. They protected Goldberg for so long, and then he got so popular, they threw the belt on him. He had to have real matches, and then he didn't have the reps to actually
And he
wrestle,
almost killed everybody he got in the ring with.
including Bret Hart.
I was gonna say, talk to Bret Hart lately.
Bret Hart will never let him forget that. Any chance Bret Hart gets to bury him, he's like, yes, I'm going to take this shot.
Yes, that is
And
Handsome
I ain't
Bane's
mad at
favorite
him.
wrestler.
I'm not mad at him.
No, that's Handsome Bane's favorite wrestler, and I love the fact that Bret still to this day he forgave Shawn Michaels, forgave Shawn Michaels,
Shawn,
but
said,
not
"Nah, man, fuck
Goldberg because he took away wrestling. Shawn Michaels didn't take away wrestling.
Bret Hart could still be wrestling right now.
Shh, you ain't lying. You ain't
I
lying.
mean, if Jeff Jarrett can do it, and let's be honest, like there are some bad wrestlers who look bad for their age, but if Jeff Jarrett looks good, let's be honest on that one.
Right.
If Jeff Jarrett is still out here getting title shots, well, what? Come on now.
Well,
Oh, this is another perfect segue because I get
Go ahead,
maybe
Marc.
Kelly, you want to talk to this, but another question that we floated around here was how long should these wrestlers be wrestling?
right.
Like,
As long as they can, as long as it makes sense and it makes sense for the storyline, then I don't see why you can't keep wrestling.
Yes, and I was going to actually just jump right from that into a do you care question, because you mentioned Jeff Jarrett's wrestling, but you mentioned that Bret Hart could still wrestle. We've seen, who was old boy's name? Mike Jackson, who was wrestling for the TNA Championship
Yep.
Yeah, and he was in his 70s, right, Mark Rob? I think something like that. I mean,
Please
that was what
don't
spurred the
remind
question.
me.
So,
Yes.
do you care that wrestlers continue to wrestle even when they're older? Like what? Like, so Gabii, I'm gonna start
As
with
long
you.
as it makes sense
Right.
and it looks good, then sure. But like Ric Flair should have hung that shit up 20 years ago. Did not need to see that.
No.
Did not need to see that. Was not necessary. No,
Absolutely not.
we should let that go. But then again, I don't mind that Edge is back. I don't mind that Bully Ray is out here giving people the business either. He looks damn good. But then like you got Tommy Dreamer, who should have hung that shit up
Yeah.
10 months ago.
Yes.
Damn.
Tommy's still out
You kept
here.
that shit mad
Tommy
real.
should have hung that
Isn't
shit up.
Sabu still out there?
Oh my god, I hope not. I feel like
I
he
hope
is,
not, but I wouldn't be surprised. if he
Sandman
was.
is still out there. He's
Let
still...
it at some point. You
Hey,
gotta let it fucking go, man.
if you were a great ECW wrestler, you should not be wrestling in the 2020s.
There's no
But it's
way.
crazy because Bully Ray was a great ECW wrestler, but his style of wrestling protected him. He talks about him busted open. He's actually never been hurt.
He's never had an injury?
For real.
Oh,
He's
dang.
never had an
Good
injury.
for you, Bully.
The way he wrestled and it's crazy because you think about ECW, like they got busy in ECW. He's
Yes.
never had an injury. He's always wrestled very protected, and it makes sense for him. So
When-
I see where you're going with that statement.
Yeah.
However, I challenge you.
Yeah.
So I think my only thing is, well, we've been joking a little bit about kayfabe tonight, but if I think that you're really going to get legitimately hurt, then at that point we're talking about MMA. Like, we're not talking about like professional wrestling. And when we watched the clips of the 70-year-old wrestler, it to me it felt uncomfortable. Now, I'm someone who obviously, if you want to choose to go into something, then that is your choice. I'm not going to take away your right to want to keep working and want to keep performing. But do I want to see it? That's just a totally different question.
Right.
Like if I got front row tickets to see Batista or Roman Reigns wrestle a 30-year-old and like Suplex City his ass to hell, do I want to see that for $3.99? The answer is no, because he's going to suplex him to hell. But I don't
I
know.
couldn't watch Ric Flair's last match because I was
Oh.
like, this is going to be a shit show. Jade could go fuck around and kill this man,
I
and that's
stayed
going to be
away
it.
from that. Yeah.
I could not watch it. I have not watched it. I
Good
have not
for
even
you.
seen clips. I cannot do it because like I don't want to see Ric Flair go out like that.
Now the 70-year-old, and we can't keep this. Well, it's not. We're not disrespecting. Well, we got to know his real name. But
Yeah, it's Mike
Somebody
Jackson.
needs to ask Google that. Ask Jeeves. That's the thing. Can we find out what that man's name is?
It's Mike Jackson.
He's probably Jeeves. We got to ask him. But I mean, he looked like he was legit in shape though. So he looked like he was legitimately
Yeah, he was
healthy.
still wrestling. I mean, he's still wrestling right now. Yeah.
And so, you know, if he wants to keep
But
going
then you
in
have
his
like
body,
the great Moolah who was out here trying to wrestle at her age, and like
I mean,
again, I don't want to see her go through a table. I don't want to see that. I didn't need to see that.
She got like, did she get like 3D'd or some wild shit like that?
She got
like,
3D through a table. And the funny story, Bully Ray talks about it on Busted Open, is that he didn't want to do it, number one. And he did when he finally committed to doing it, he did it like mad soft. And she grabbed him by the collar and was like, if you don't put me to this fucking table, like you fucking mean it. And he was like, all right. So we put her to the table for real. But he said that he did not want to do it. And he kept like protecting her and not actually like fully committing to it. And she was like, nah, I'm gonna need you to commit to this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sabu's last match, apparently, shout out to Cancers, was July of 2021. So, and he wasn't necessarily active in 2020 either. He only had 6 matches, I believe, in 2020. Right. So hopefully, you know, he's hung them up for good. So
yeah. So I do care when there it makes no sense. Like if Hogan shows up WrestleMania and
we don't talk about him.
We hate him.
I don't acknowledge him.
And he leg drops Roman and takes both belts. That would make no sense. Yeah,
I don't acknowledge him. We do not acknowledge that man.
Oh, we have a long history of Hogan on here. It's quite colorful. So
and that's fine. But I do not acknowledge that man.
So I'm proud of you. I'm seriously proud of you. Which guarantees once again, thank you, Gabii, that he will not be entering the Rasslecast Hall of Fame. So thank God.
Absolutely not. It's funny. Someone was like, you should talk about Hulk Hogan in these matches for your WrestleMania countdown. And I was like, fuck no, he doesn't exist. We're not acknowledging him. Like,
we're not talking about the big boot.
We're not talking about Hogan. No.
How great those matches were. They don't exist. Don't know what you're talking about. So go on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But like you mentioned, Bully, and then even like veteran wrestlers who's still with the company, like Randy and stuff like that. It's like obviously. Should they be moving out of the way for the younger wrestlers? Sure. But at the same time, when they can go out there and still perform at the level that they always have, then absolutely I think they should be there. But Ricky the Dragon Steamboat just had a match not that long ago, and I saw some clips. He looked perfectly fine. If you can still wrestle and you don't look like you're going to die out there, go ahead.
So what do you think about Rock and Roll Express out here having matches?
What?
No, that's a thing.
They were at Ric Flair's last match, and they feel like they recently had a match with Jay Lethal and someone else for some like
indie take a check from anybody, bro.
Jay Lethal will cash a check. Listen,
keep getting them checks, Jay Lethal. My God.
They are in their
life, black man.
They're in their mid-60s.
Yeah,
both these men.
I'm okay with Rock and Roll Express only because they're not wrestling anything that has any matches that have any real stakes. It's all about stakes. So if they want to go out and get the wrestle on
the Chitlin circuit, you don't care they wrestle?
No, go get your couple dollars, go get your drinking money, go get your gas money, whatever. Go do your thing, man. If it's still in your blood that much, by all means. Don't show up on WWE and challenge for the Usos, please. That's all.
So what are your thoughts on Sting? Because like Sting does not look good. Like let's be honest on that one. Sting.
Okay.
I love Sting. I am a diehard Sting fan. Same. I love Sting from when he had the scorpion face. Like I'm a diehard Stinger. Hold on. But like let's be honest.
This segues into the gauntlet a little bit. We're mixing everything up right now. We're just tossing it all up. Go ahead,
can't have a rundown with me. I'm gonna fuck your rundown up every single time. But go on.
Before you answer her question, Kellen.
Yes.
Gabii, Surfer Sting or Crow Sting?
That's why the gauntlet's blended in.
What are my options again?
Surfer Sting, Crow
with the high neon, colorful pants and makeup, or Crow Sting, the emo, black and white Sting.
Early WCW, late WCW.
Early WCW Sting. That's the Sting that I fell in love with.
Okay, so Surfer Sting.
Surfer Sting is who I fell in love with, and I learned to appreciate emo Sting.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved me some Scorpion Sting.
Got you. I mean, Eric, Handsome Bane loves him some Surfer Sting. Me and Mark Rob are Crow Stings over here, so we're always going back and forth. Honestly, I was watching someone on YouTube recapping that era about Sting disappearing for 15 months and all that stuff, and him being in the rafters with the bat and stuff. And when I was watching it live, it was always like, "Oh, Sting's gonna come back. He's gonna come back." But then I was watching it now, I was like, "Damn, he really waited that long ass time not to wrestle."
But you got the tease back. You could afford to tease back.
Makes perfect sense. The tease makes perfect sense. But looking at it now, it's like he waited all that time for him to wrestle and then win at Starrcade, then them rule it a no contest and hold up the belt. That's what sucks about it. That's what sucks about it. So does
Starrcade? That's
does Sting need to be out there? No.
He wrestled very he obviously wrestled very protective. His last match with Darby Allin, Jay Lethal, and was it Jeff Jarrett maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but like if you just look at Sting, like, and I've seen Sting in person recently. I was at an AEW show and like.
You hung out with Sting and shared a beer?
No, I didn't say I hung out with him. I said I saw him recently. I didn't say he was hanging out throwing it back. Did not say that. I saw him recently in person, and he does not look like he needs to be thrown rounds with Darby. Yes, he looks
okay. Okay, so who's older, Sting or the Rock and Roll Express?
Sting.
Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express by a year.
I knew it was close. I knew it was real close.
So Robert Gibson, whichever one that is.
I don't know which one that is, but go on, tell me more.
The one without the mullet, the one without the blonde mullet. He's 64 years old, and the one with the blonde mullet, he is 66 years old. Sting is 63 years old.
I don't know how I feel about Sting. I think he should just continue to hang out in the background and support Darby that way. But I mean, if he wants to continue to get in the ring, who am I to stop you?
Well, our
your check.
Friend of the show, Seahawk, he actually was on the show of a couple months ago. He had just had an interview with Sting and he posted. And Sting is planning on he's gearing up for one last match. He talks about that. It's not so much a one-on-one deal, like more with Darby, but he is planning very soon to end it all. Not end it all, end his career.
Whoa.
Damn,
I know.
Slip
of the tongue. My bad, Sting. Please stay with us.
An assisted Sue. Oh,
that got dark real quick.
That would be the title if it wasn't so get the people going for sure. So what Sting has done so far, I'm fine with. I didn't expect much out of him. I was really disappointed that his WWE run ended the way it did, and the fact that Vince buried him at Mania with Triple H and everything. Yep. But we all kind of saw that coming. I didn't expect the NWO to help Sting, but of course Vince is Vince.
Vince is on Vince. So.
Yeah, Vince is definitely going to Vince. So we kind of stepped into it a little bit when you asked the Surfer Sting question, Mark Rob. But I think now would be a good time for us to go ahead and move into the Gauntlet portion of the show. Gabii, you keep doing you. So if we segue away from that, we can come back. I'm enjoying this. I'm loving your energy.
I'm mad random.
Before we do that, so I can just look at the list real quick. Do you want to tell everybody about your high Gabii shorts and reels and all of that stuff and how you got started doing that?
Sure. It's not really a story to it, but sure. I literally was watching, I think, the Rumble, and I was on Twitter or Instagram, and nobody was talking about it. And I was like, this is weird. Why isn't anyone talking about, like, the Rumble? Mm-hmm. Specifically, why aren't any Black women talking about the Rumble? And I was like, fuck that. So I think I'm going to do my own thing. And I'm talking to my husband on, like, a Thursday, and he was like, make a video, shoot it. And I was like, no, that's weird. He's like, no, for real. Like, write your little script, shoot it. My husband does editing, so he edits all my videos with slices and dices them for me.
Very nice.
And that was that. And I decided to do it on a Thursday, and I put my first video on a Sunday.
All right.
Wow.
And I've been doing like 3 or 4 videos a week. Sometimes I started off doing Black History Month, so doing like Black wrestlers. I've done, right now we're doing a countdown to Mania with all of my favorite Mania matches.
Amazing.
And then I'm doing like a random segment ish on Tuesday, Thursdays is the match for I want people to go back and watch. So like I went back and one of the ones next week, tell nobody, it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole during the infamous SmackDown when everyone got like a Saudi match.
Oh. Okay.
And then I also have like a dedication to like WCW where like I have Sting and Ric Flair, they're back and forth, and Macho Man and DDP. So like I am doing
Macho
like
Man and DDP
stuff.
have one of the best feuds in WCW history. I just want to throw that out.
And we're digging into that. I'm digging into that.
Yes.
Right.
So I've got a little bit of like new school wrestling mixed in with some old school wrestling as well, and then just some random rants, man.
I love it.
So we'll see how things go after Revolution. I might just jump on and do a random rant and see how that shit show goes.
Yeah, and I will be sharing it on my social media as soon as I see it. So.
Appreciate it. You guys can find me on all social media at Hi Gabii, HiiGabii. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, she's all over y'all. So
Everywhere.
Yeah, very happy to have her on the show. Thank you, Handsome Bane, for the alley-oop to get Gabii on the show, man. All right.
Yes.
So first question, well, technically second question in the gauntlet. Let's start out with something pretty. Okay, let's start out with another classic. Let's do Sensational Sherry versus Miss Elizabeth. Who, Gabii, is your choice?
So my heart wants to go with Sherry, but I love Miss Elizabeth, so that's kind of a hard one.
Right. It is for most people.
Sherry is actually one of the first women that I saw back in WCW. So for nostalgia purposes, I'm going to have to say Sherry.
Okay. Another one for Sherry. All right. I am also Team Sherry, so is Handsome Bane. I have nothing against Elizabeth because
against her.
I appreciated her when I was a younger, of course. I mean, she was Macho's wife and then his valet, obviously. So she was on television all the time. And Sherry came a little bit later for me, and I didn't appreciate her work more until I got back into wrestling and I was really going through the network and watching some stuff, and I was like, damn, Sherry's so good at her job, man. She carried so much of that match, like just doing that little piece that she got. She did fantastic work, and of course we can't be mad at Sherry because she was standing next to our man Booker T when he. And
I was gonna say that's where I remember Sherry from is from her.
Hilarious.
Yes, Hulk Hogan, you know, and if we had a soundboard, we would drop it, but. Handsome Bane.
We don't acknowledge him, so no, we wouldn't. So,
so we are not coming for him, nigga.
Hello, we are not coming. Actually, we probably are. We probably should come for Hulk Hogan, but that's good right there. I didn't realize how like obsessed Macho was with Elizabeth until like I watched that documentary on A&E.
Yeah.
But like that's a whole topic for the day. But like I didn't realize like how like crazy that relationship was. Yeah. And I still think that Lex Luger should be in jail for killing her, but that's also here nor there.
Whoa.
So I mean,
we have to put it out there for the attorneys listening.
We hear. So
my opinion is my opinion, and that is all.
So you're on the side of the fence that says
my opinion does not represent my employer.
That says Luger
does
did
not
it.
represent this podcast. It is simply my opinion.
Right.
But I do think that Lex Luger should be locked up.
So you think he did it for sure?
I think that he should have reacted. Didn't he wait like 6 hours to call the feds?
Yes.
The bitch is dead on the floor. Like, he had to sober up.
Gross negligence.
Exactly. Like, he should. That's probably karma. Probably was why he's in a wheelchair now. It's why he's in a fucking wheelchair and can barely walk now. Like, you should have. Karma's a bitch. Lex, karma is a bitch.
Whew. Dang, Gabii. I appreciate the energy, man.
Hell, how you gonna top that, buddy?
There is no topping. I'm just gonna move on to the next question. No, we are literally probably only about 30 minutes in so far, man. This has been a ride. I am all about that, man. All about that.
I don't know how I feel. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's a great thing.
It's the best thing.
It's expect the unexpected on the Rasslecast Power Hour.
Let's go.
All right, so Gabii again. What celebrities would you want to watch a wrestling show with?
Ooh.
Dead or alive?
OJ.
Oh my.
Wait, what?
OJ.
For the podcast audience, Kellen just de-shaded.
Can I ask
OJ.
why Orenthal James Simpson?
Cause he make a killing at it.
Ooh.
Ding, where my drumstick? I think that OJ has the most crazy opinions on everything that he feels the need to tweet about and make videos on.
I
So I
ain't
think
black
why
emoji.
the fuck not? Why not?
Hello to the world.
Yeah.
It's OJ. I just watched a special with Jade Cargill, and she's squashing, the white ladies, and she's, I don't know how I feel about that, but I want to support her. Black people, they matter sometimes, and I gotta go back on the golf course.
He's
All right, OJ.
and that's exactly how it would be, and that's exactly how the video would go.
Go.
But yeah, I think I'd want to watch wrestling with OJ.
That's like an 80s sitcom, Wrestling with OJ.
You'd watch it though, right?
If it was the
touche.
80s, absolutely I would.
Wow. If it's 2023, touche.
You'd watch it.
I try to stay away from his Twitter feed.
His Twitter feed is like amazing. When he was commenting on like people killing people, it was like, no, OJ.
right.
I mean,
Come
you
a
got
little closer, OJ.
experience.
Come a little closer. What's going on?
I mean, everybody. No, never mind. God.
Sometimes you gotta choke out a white girl. I get it. I feel you, OJ, but like,
Marc Rob.
Oh my.
Who would
Oh
you,
my.
celebrity-wise, pick
mean,
to watch a wrestling show with?
I mean, I don't know if my answer's gonna top that. I mean,
There's no topping Gabii, man.
there's no
Gabii
topping
came in
that.
here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and she all out of bubble gum, man. Literally. So, Marc Rob.
that's what I'm here for. I'm the wild card.
Oh, I mean, my answer's Rosario Dawson, just so I can do something with Rosario Dawson.
Oh, okay.
That's
that's-
boring, but okay.
I mean, the love of my life is not boring, but okay. Please respect my privacy.
Oh, wow. He said, please respect my privacy. I'd like to watch Wrestling with Prince, man.
Oh, you didn't say alive or
that's a good
dead.
I did.
He
Did I
did, he
not?
did.
I did.
Oh,
He
I
did.
changed my answer then. Malcolm X, so we can see white people get beat up.
Okay.
Is that less wild than OJ, Ellen?
No.
No. No. Not
That is not.
not
less
mad
wild
at it.
than OJ. God, I'm still trying to compose myself. So yeah, I'd watch Wrestling with Prince.
Imagine Malcolm X watching the Attitude Era. Imagine that. Like,
Imagine
he would-
Malcolm X watching Vince McMahon say nigga multiple times. And John
Imagine-
Cena.
Imagine that John Cena Vince McMahon skit, and he's like walking out saying, "What up, my nigga?" to like Booker T.
No,
or
no.
whatever.
Imagine Malcolm X watching what Triple H was calling Booker T a house nigga.
Imagine Malcolm X is watching Ahmed Johnson wrestle. Like Virgil holding Hulk Hogan's gold every
Imagine Malcolm
Monday.
X watching MJF cut a promo.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Full circle.
There
got
it
you.
is. There it is. Wow. I gotta write down that for a title. Imagine Malcolm X watching MJF. Oh,
Think
hold
about
on.
the Jewish people and their plight.
Oh wow. This is amazing.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
welcome.
Gabii.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
I got the notes down. Okay. All right, so this is a question that I wrote a while ago, and I don't think we've ever actually done it yet. We haven't had a gauntlet yet to do it. So, Gabii, I stole this from Tank's R&B podcast, and I just changed the wrestling. So, full credit to Tank. R&B money. So, build your wrestling Voltron, okay? So,
Oh my God.
you can take pieces of different wrestlers for technique, heart, promo, and their ability to tell a story. And tell me who those wrestlers would be, and I can remind you obviously of which categories are what.
Promo. This is gonna be random. Promo. I'm going Ricky Starks.
Okay, you are a Ricky Starks fan. I peeped that out.
I am a Ricky Starks fan.
Yeah.
Technique. AJ Styles.
Okay.
What else did you say?
I said heart and ability to tell a story.
Ability to tell a story, Cody.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
You said heart. The
And
last
heart.
one.
Heart, yes. Who has the heart of a champion in the ring?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Heart. Oh man, I'm stumped.
Kelly, you want to throw some suggestions out there? Oh,
Seth Rollins.
Hey, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy, Seth. I can appreciate that one. Those are all some very good choices. My fandom of AJ has kind of fallen off a little bit after.
It has, but if you think about classic AJ, like
yes,
the style is there.
It's the Blue Lives Matter for me, so that's why him and Taker. Yeah, that bothers me. So I mean, it is what it is. Mark Rob, same question. Build your wrestling Voltron. Technique, heart, promo, and the ability to tell a story.
I feel like telling the story and promo, is that the same thing basically, or do you mean like storytelling through a match?
Because MJF doesn't tell stories, but he can cut a promo.
Right. It can be promo, but then also the ability to still tell the story throughout a match as well, like through the actual wrestling. That goes
I think
on.
both of those I'm going to pick The Rock.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Technique, super random, but I'm gonna go with Ultimo Dragon.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Okay.
Heart, I don't know. I think maybe Stone Cold before he won the title.
I was
Hungry
thinking
Stone
that.
Cold. Okay.
Yeah, because he had like all those kind of failed gimmicks, and then Austin 316,
Hit.
and then losing to Brett, and then still being over. I think that era is just incredible.
So everything leading up to WrestleMania 15 then.
Yeah.
When he fought Shawn. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking that era too. So that's a real good one. Dang. Good answers, Mark Rob. Good answers.
Thank you.
For myself, I would say technique wise, I'm gonna say Danielson for technique. Promo. I hate to give him credit right now because I'm mad at him, but it's gonna be CM Punk for promo. Heart. I'm gonna go with Mankind. Mick Foley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mick always had a lot of heart, no matter what character he's playing. So, and that was what helped him get over. So I'm gonna say Mick Foley, and the ability to tell a story in and out the ring, I would say. I'm going to say for this one, I will choose. Dang, it is tough, isn't it? This first time I tried to answer these questions. I'm going to say Brett. I will say Brett because while Brett wasn't the best promo, I will definitely say that he knew how to tell a story everywhere else. And that's, again, one of the reasons why he's considered one of the GOATs. So.
All right.
So that was that. So I finally got that question off. That's what's up. Okay. So we're going to bounce back to Do You Care because in the rope in the fantasy wrestling group the other day, Gabii, you had mentioned somebody, and I was like, "Yo, we really haven't talked about her on the show. We kind of talked about her a little bit, But I honestly kind of feel like I want to talk about her a little bit because I don't feel like she should be getting the title shot at Revolution this Sunday.
100%.
So, Gabii, what is it that makes you not be a Saraya Paige fan? Saraya fan.
Whatever, Paige. Who she fucking, it doesn't matter. Like, I never liked Paige or Saraya, however you pronounce her name.
Yes.
I've never liked her. I'm not taking away from the work that she's done. I think she has definitely pushed the envelope for women wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like her, and I don't really have a real reason why. I really can't connect with her. And I don't understand her new AEW run. Like, I think she's just there to be there. Like, her promos, not popping.
That first
her
promo was horrible.
Oh my god!
And her ring work, other than her finishing move when she got that locked in a few weeks ago, which is the first good thing I've seen her do since she's come back.
Which is sad because it's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't see it for her, man. I don't think she deserves a title shot. I don't know what the fuck she's doing with Toni Storm. It's actually upsetting me because I feel like she's pulling down Toni Storm's stock.
Yes.
Like with the whole, they're trying to be NWO and like airbrushing stuff. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
right.
what is that? I don't get it. And it feels like she's forced on me right now. And I do not like when people force wrestlers on me. I'm good.
That's how I felt about Austin Theory, honestly, until a few months ago. I felt like he's being forced on me, and I just did not mess with him.
I don't hate him.
I don't hate him now.
I don't hate him.
I could not stand him prior to Vince getting out of the creative chair. I felt like he was being forced down my throat, and now I do enjoy everything that they've done with him since. He's been very convincing. His in-ring work has been very good. But as far as Paige goes,
I don't see it for her.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to AEW not having too many people and not enough time for them. I feel like if she was able to be in the ring every week and really knock the dust off, I feel like she could possibly get her in-ring work better. But she's not on TV like that. That's another thing about the women's division AEW. They don't get enough time. Like, Jade gets a match every couple weeks, and then, of course, Jamie Hayter's the champion, so she gets a match every now and then. Britt wrestles tag team right now, and so there's only this little spot of the show, so you can't have her out there running the ropes and everything. She can run the ropes all she wants at home or backstage or whatever. It's not the same as being out there and actually having the matches. So never got the ring rust off. That introductory promo to AEW was terrible, and it reminded me of. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Continue.
Yeah, I was going to say that promo reminded me of why I couldn't watch her live streams either, because it was just boring. And so I was just like, oh, she's doing her live stream thing, and now she's bad when Britt Baker's supposed to be like the biggest heel in the company, and on the women's side, and then you're going to have her and Toni turning bad, like for what reason? Nobody knows.
turning Jamie and Britt face.
Right, like Britt Baker's a face. Like who wants to see?
I can see it. I think she's like,
I could see it, yeah, but
Bianca
I don't know
Belair
if I
or like Sasha, how they played both sides of the fence, and while they're better heels, they're not necessarily bad baby faces. They just have better heels.
Bianca's really grown into the baby face role, though. I think since she's.
I like heel Bianca. I just like heels.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand why she's babyface right now. They're trying to push her. She's got like so many promotions going on. She's got this show coming up. Like, I get it. I don't see her dropping anytime soon. It makes sense. It's fine. But Saraya does not make sense. And like, I don't know what's happening. I pray to God she doesn't get the championship on Sunday.
I do too, because like I said in the group,
pray for my downfall.
I dropped her. I picked her up in fantasy wrestling, then I dropped her after that first promo. I was like, oh, this isn't going anywhere. And if she ends up winning this championship, then those are points that I dropped. So I don't even know who has Saraya. And then in WWE, when she was Paige, she was fine. But the problem with her in WWE was she came in when there was still a Divas Championship. She was right before they brought in the Women's Championship. And then she got hurt, so she couldn't wrestle anymore. And so she couldn't be a part of the new women's division in WWE. So she never really got to prove her chops there. She had, like in NXT, she had some great matches. She had some pretty decent matches on the main roster with AJ. But again, she just never had that level of talent to really show that she's one of the elite wrestlers of the world, despite her background and how she got got to WWE and her wrestling family. It just has never really come across.
And I just don't care.
Right.
I just simply don't care. Like,
and sometimes you just don't care. That's why we have the Do You Care segment. It's perfect like that.
There it is. There it is.
Mark, Rob, do you have any opinions on Paige or Saraya at all?
So listen, I had to do a quick Google search. I wanted to make sure this young woman, I don't know, she was maybe across the diaspora, you know, she was, you know, with a home team or not. And a quick Google search yielded she is definitely not. So her real name is Saraya Jade Beavis. There's only one Beavis that we respect, him and his queer partner Butthead. So do we care about this young lady contending for a title? Mm-hmm. We absolutely do not. Sweep it. Get her out of here.
All right. There it is, man.
There it is.
And there is your Saraya talk, and probably the last time we mentioned her, as long as she doesn't win the belt for a while in the Rasslecast Power Hour.
And if she wins the belt, we're probably still not going to talk about her. Because, like, hopefully she's just a transitional champion.
Right.
And she drops it the next week to somebody else. So,
right.
Like, that's just my prayer and my hope. But, like, hey, I'm not a writer. That's Tony Khan's job.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it well, but that's his job.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, I took shots at Tony after the whole scrum thing happened about, like, get control of your company and everything like that. Don't let
Tony Khan reminds me of a kid who, like, has a wrestling ring and, like, all these action figures. And he's just, like, playing with his action figures while his dad funds, like, his dad's like, yes, I'll buy you more action figures. Continue to play and leave me the fuck alone. That's just how I feel is happening. And I feel like his dad stepped in when the whole, like, brawl out stepped up and was like, what the fuck are you doing? Right. I'm gonna fix this for you. But then he went back to playing with little action figures and, like, do off the top ropes. Like, okay, we get it. You're rich and you have money. But, like, he's trying so hard to be Vince. He's trying so hard not to be Vince, but he's become Vince.
In a way, he's lazy Vince.
And he shoots himself in the foot because he's like, I'm not gonna cut wrestlers. But, like, you're letting their contract expire. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, and again, not putting them on TV and letting them sit at home and collect checks and not giving them a chance to be out there and continue their career. Part of being on television means you're on, like, with a major company, the second major company in the world now, is that you get TV time, and then you develop Rampage, but you tape it after Dynamite, and you're not giving anybody chances. And there's After Dark.
And I feel like they set themselves up for failure because you have your Dark and your Evolution beforehand. Then you have 2 hours of 2 hours of Dynamite, and then you have another hour and a half. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a wrestling fan, but even I don't want to sit through 8 hours of wrestling on a Wednesday night. Like, I have to go to work in the morning.
Right.
So, like, around 11-ish, I honestly, around 10:30, I'm like, all right, let's go home. I can say that I've been to many AEW shows, and, like, I don't stay through Rampage because I'm like, if I leave now, I can beat traffic.
Right.
And then I can go home and go to sleep. And then I have to wake up in the morning to deal with my toddler. Right. So, like, it's just too much at once. And I was hoping that with these house shows, maybe they'll use that to tape Dark and Rampage. But, like, they got to do something different. Because, like, even as a diehard fan, I don't want to watch 4 hours of wrestling on a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
I don't.
You shouldn't be making business decisions on watching a product or not. So
yeah, I have to agree with that. So now that we've segued back to AEW, another Do You Care question. We're going to give it right to you, Gabii. So I don't know if you've noticed, but Jon Moxley, he sure does love to bleed. And as much as I love Jon Moxley, my question for you, Gabii, is do you care that Jon Moxley has to bleed in every single match that he's in?
So that's a two-parter for me.
Okay. We got time. I mean,
do I care that he blades and cuts himself every fucking match? Honestly, no. Do I care that I see him cut himself every fucking match? Yes.
Whoa. That's very true. It's very true.
So if he did it, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole other conversation about AEW and their lack of production skills that I feel like in year 4 of your company, you should be doing better. The ladder match situation. You got Moxley cutting every 20 minutes. You got the exploding ring that didn't fucking explode. Then you have when Chris Jericho fell off the cage and led it into the crash match. Like, these mistakes should not be happening in year 4 of your company.
Right. Absolutely not.
Now, year 2 or 3, I might let some of this shit slide. But no.
And you have veteran wrestlers.
Do I care that he's bleeding? Right. Do I care that he's bleeding? Don't really give a shit. It's fine. It's his thing. Let him have his thing. But do I care about the fact that I literally see this man have a razor out of his mouth and slice his forehead? Yes, I care about that.
Now, have you seen this on TV and live, or just live?
Both.
Okay, you do see that on TV then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen it too, but I just wasn't sure if it was more noticeable when you're in person.
No, you literally see this man go into the corner. Like, come on now, like, you know what it is. But so yes and no.
So the blood
no, I don't care that he bleeds. Yes, I care that I physically seeing this man cut his forehead.
The blood doesn't take away from the match or anything like that. That he has to bleed even if he has a 5-minute match.
So that's another. Do I think that it takes away from the moment that he bleeds every single match? Yes.
Okay.
But I don't care. But I mean, that's fine. If that's his if that's his shtick is to bleed, that's his shtick to bleed. I'm not gonna knock you for your shtick. You know what I mean? But do I think that it takes away from the fact that he bleeds every fucking match? Absolutely.
Okay.
He doesn't bleed when he fucking should bleed. Like, never mind. But yes, like, I just think the whole thing is like, he needs to do better.
Gabi's all about inside baseball or inside wrestling, and I am definitely here for it. I can appreciate that. For me, bleeding was always something, especially because I'm a WWE. That's home base for me. Like when they bleed in WWE, not now, but more in the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, or even like 5 or 6 years ago when somebody bled, they bled for a purpose of the story. And
correct.
Of course, we all know the iconic Stone Cold Crimson Mask, and when he faced Brett, and that, of course, that helped make the legend of Stone Cold. But then, also, there's times when it's just totally unnecessary. Like there was a random reel of
this week.
Yes, like Shawn Michaels and shout out to Shawn and Kurt Angle were having a match, and they're both pouring blood on Raw. Like, and I was like, what the hell? Like, couldn't even remember what match it was. Probably like 2002, 2003. And they're just pouring blood, like nothing but covered in blood. And I'm like, what is this telling other than the fact that our guys are covered in blood on national TV? And
look at Cody and Dustin, that first match. That ring was drenched.
Oh, it was so gross.
Why?
So gross.
Why? And at that point, it's like, why?
Right, like if it happens organically, like Roman his mouth used to pop open like almost every match, like especially when he was face.
But
Roman.
it wasn't planned.
Right, it was just he just bleed late. It was just something that happened to him, and that was whatever. You could tell that was an accident. But like, take the Brock Cena match back at like Extreme Rules in 2012 when Brock first came back. That match was bloody as hell, but also it was Extreme Rules, no rules. They literally beat the hell out of each other. Yes, and now whenever they show pictures of it, like they can't. It's all black and white because they were both bleeding because they're
both in a war. Crimson.
Right, they're in a war. But when I turn on AEW and I see Moxley's bleeding against
fucking Evil Uno, whatever.
There you go, Evil Uno.
Like, yo, you stretched it. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like
why?
You pushing it, bro.
Like,
you pushing
why?
it.
Like, I don't know. I know that he stepped away momentarily to get sober and everything. So I don't know how well his sobriety is going. But I don't know if that helps deal with that. And that's just some wild theory I just came up with, that he feels like he needs to bleed every match. And that's kind of how he gets that adrenaline that he no longer gets from being able to drink walking down the ramp like he was doing there for a year or so. But it's just tired. It's real tired.
And like, I just don't understand it. Like, I get a paper cut, I'm pissed off. Like, I'm not about to voluntarily like slice my fucking forehead. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, again, paper cut, I'm pissed off. Like, god damn it. Yeah. Can't put on hand sanitizer now. Like,
Cut my life into pieces.
This is my last resort.
Suffocation, I get it. No breathing, but like, no, whatever.
So what's a percentage of like leading to actual total number of matches is a decent ratio? So like, let's say
it shouldn't be a ratio. It should be so natural that it should not be a ratio.
Okay, so apparently he's had Moxley, I'll check the stats. Moxley has had about either 5 or 6 matches this year. How many times do you think he's bled in those matches?
Every last one of them.
6.
If he's had 7 matches, he's bled 8 of them.
There it is.
So if this is accurate, there's a Twitter account called Bleeding John, which
I believe it. They're right.
Now, out of the last 4 matches, he's bled 3 times.
I believe it.
So that's a high ass clip. This year, I think he's at about 50%. Oh, maybe a little bit higher if he's only wrestled.
It's got to be higher.
If he's only wrestled 5 times.
He's shooting better than Russell Westbrook does from outside when it comes to bleeding.
Oh, man, that's not hard. That's not too hard, but
it's not. But it's a high percentage.
But
it's a Shaq shot.
Do I care about wrestlers cutting themselves to bleed? This isn't the Attitude Era, man. When people get thrown off of fucking 30 feet matches and shit. Yeah, man. This isn't ECW. You're not out there wrestling.
You're not New Jack.
Well, wrestling piss. You're not wrestling New Jack. So no, man. No, we don't care about that. Yeah. This is another full sweep. We don't care about that, man.
We are not here for that. Oh, yeah. No thanks, man. Oh, wow.
I think I'm very happy. I think this may be the only time we've had multiple don't cares, a full sweep don't care in an episode. I'm glad everyone's turning to my side on this.
It might
really
be.
Glad to experience this.
It might be. So, Gabii, I'm going to ask you a in the moment wrestling question, which we normally don't do, but you had mentioned when you first got on that you didn't understand why we recorded during SmackDown. And right now SmackDown is the hottest that it's been in years. So out of everybody's got opinion about Sammy and Roman and Cody Rhodes and everything. So what would you like to see going forward with those 3? Do you feel like Sammy's story is kind of over and he doesn't deserve another shot at Roman? Do you feel like he should get another shot?
I don't want to see Roman drop at Mania.
Yeah, I don't want to see him lose
I don't
either,
think Cody earned it. Cody showed back up at Mania last year, had some bangers with Seth Rollins, got hurt, comes back, enters the Rumble at number 30. If he entered the Rumble at number 1, I probably would have been okay with it. But he came in at number 30. He came in at 30. Him and Gunther had a pretty good match. That cannot be denied. But I don't want to see it right now. Do I think that eventually Cody's going to get the strap that his daddy never got? Absolutely. That's why he's here. But I don't think now is the time. As far as Sammy goes, obviously we got something going on with Sammy and Jay, so I'm curious to how that's going to play out. But you all are recording during SmackDown, so did you all see the Roman Cody promo? The first episode.
No,
I'm not seeing it. Go back and watch
I forgot
it.
that they're going to be that there was going first on their face to face.
They opened it with a really good promo, and Roman annihilated Cody. So if you have not watched that, I suggest you go back and watch that. It's great.
I will be checking that out for sure.
It's great. It's worth it. It's chef's kiss. Like Roman, heel Roman is. I love heel Roman. Do I think that Roman needs to drop eventually? Absolutely. But do I think the time is for now? No. If anything, I think that the Usos will drop the tag team champions before. I'm okay with that.
So I have a question. Yes. So we just talked about Goldberg. We just talked about Jade. We talked about people just mowing over opponents. But it feels like, I know Roman isn't necessarily doing the squash, but it just feels like he's probably the most invincible wrestler since peak. We don't mention his name on this episode. If he doesn't drop now, when will he ever drop? Because
SummerSlam.
But who would be the appropriate opponent to do that too?
I can't tell you that now in March.
I have a couple ideas.
I mean, there are obviously plenty of ideas on who we should drop to, but I mean, like, okay, think about it this way. Whenever Brock had the title, he was on that same bullshit where he actually was like having squash matches with people. At least Roman's putting on bangers while he has the strap. So I have to give him credit for that. Whereas when Brock had it and had it tight, he was out here just squashing people, throwing out 45 F5s and calling it a day. And they're like, oh, there's your match. So I think we need to give credit where credit is due on that one.
So when I don't necessarily have any kind of stakes with Roman, so I'm asking this really as a complete neutral.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good thing for a person to hold the title for this long as he's quality promo and quality matches roughly every time out the gate? Because it sounds like Roman...
I'm not mad at it. Do I think it's a good idea? Probably not. But do I hate it? Do I want to see where it goes? Because at some point he's going to drop, right? We know he's going to drop.
Right.
So will it make that moment when he drops that much better?
I think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Jay drops, we're going to be like, fucking finally, goddamn.
I mean,
she does have to eventually lose.
That's my reaction.
All wrestlers have to lose.
She's eventually got to lose.
Yes.
And that's the problem when you build people up being undefeated. That's a whole other story as well. Like Bianca Belair, her undefeated. Like at some point when you build people up to be undefeated, they eventually got to lose, right? Asuka too. Eventually they got to lose, and then it's like, well, they lost. But I don't see a problem with it because Roman's still putting on, in my opinion, 4 and 5 star matches.
Right.
And I think it'll make the moment that much better to when he drops to whomever it is he drops to.
Mm-hmm.
So in the maybe not the all history of WWF/WWE, but let's say in the last 15 years, does Roman have kind of the highest ratio of title defenses and quality to historical matches of any champion that they've had?
That's what I was going to actually say is that's the difference that makes Roman's run so unique, is because if they give somebody a long run, usually it's not this damn good.
It's not quality.
Right.
It's like I said, Brock goes out and puts on 5 F5s and that is your match. 3 minutes later, you're done.
Roman won the belt, SummerSlam 2020 is when he came back. I think he got the belt from Bray. And here it is, 2023, and he's about to go. He's close to 3 years of holding the first belt, the WWE Championship, and like never in my memory has someone been so dominant, so good in the ring, such a good character, and then go out and Logan Paul, I have to give him all the credit in the world. He's a decent wrestler. So.
He's out here banging.
Yeah. Him and Seth are going to really go at it at Mania.
He's putting in work.
So
hold on. We not bigging up no Logan Paul.
We're bigging up Logan Paul's ability in the ring. I'm not bigging up him as a person. Like, let's separate the person, the asshole from the talent. Let's look about the talent. Mm-hmm. Let's I agree. Mm-hmm. He's a dickhead and probably should not, but you cannot deny that man's talent. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. He came out and he's better than Dominic, who's out here getting love. Yes. He's better than a lot of people.
He's way better than Dominic. Mm-hmm.
He's out here, but he's putting in work.
We 3 days outside of Black History Month, and we gonna big up Logan Paul.
We're bigging up Logan Paul's talent, not Logan Paul. You gotta separate it. Sometimes you do gotta separate it. Sometimes you can't. Like with R. Kelly, you can't separate the artist from the work. But with Logan Paul, I feel like I can.
So let's actually talk about a good white man. So I limited it to the last 15 years, but let's just talk about from what we know, what we experience in the totality of professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. Is it a fair argument to make, or can you even make the argument that Roman is the greatest champion that professional wrestling, at least in America, because we don't know.
I'm not making that argument.
Yeah, okay. I can't say that yet.
I can't make that argument.
I'm enjoying his run immensely, but I can't.
When he wraps his title, when he wraps his tenured up, we can come back. We can put a pin in this. We can put a pin in this for when he wraps his title reign up and we can come back to it. But as of right now, I cannot make an argument for or against that.
I'm the same
Because
way.
we did have, Shawn Michaels, but that's neither here
Oh,
nor there.
Shawn Michaels' title run
Michaels
sucked
fan.
though, bro. And you know I love Shawn
I mean,
Michaels.
but you gotta look at same and like let's kind of.
Hold on, Kelly. You just bigged up Logan Paul. Now you're gonna disrespect
not
the
over Shawn
Heartbreak
Michaels.
Kid?
I'm not. He's my number 2 wrestler. Like
Get
behind
outta
Macho.
here.
He's my number one, and
Well,
he's my number one.
His
so
title reign sucked. Shawn's
all
title
suck.
reign sucked,
They all did.
and it had nothing to do with
They
talent.
were entertaining,
They were.
but if you look at like quality of matches, baby.
Right. Other than him winning it from Brett at Mania 10, was that 10? What? No, that was probably Mania 11 in Anaheim, 95, whatever it was. Other than him winning it from Brett, like his championship
I got nothing
runs
for you.
just weren't there, man.
Malcolm
not
X is
stand
spinning
out.
in his grave right now.
They're not stand
Who's
out.
spinning in his
like-
grave?
Who?
Malcolm X He's spinning his grave right fuck now. If I could watch this Zoom meeting with him right now, he'd be up fucking set.
A fucking set. Mark Rob, it's okay. I love
Jeez.
Shawn. You know I love Shawn. But his title, he had,
Jeez.
look at the company though. He won it in 95. And think about it. Everybody had mass exodus over to WCW other than like him and Diesel and Razor. Like he had nobody to wrestle. Then he lost his smile. He gave up the strap. He dropped it. And then he ended up winning it back from Brett in the worst wrestling incident in history at the screw job. And then he hurt his back against Taker.
The best incident in wrestling history.
We don't stand a screw job, Mark Rob. Not even
yes,
for
we do.
Shawn.
Oh, yes, we do.
Not even for Shawn, even though the DVD is right here. We do not stand for Shawn when it comes to the screw job. So, and then he hurt his back against Taker, and then he had a terrible match where he had to fight through pain in order to give Stone Cold the belt at WrestleMania 14, man. So no, like, and then it's
We're not going
2000.
to talk about that Saudi run, so like we're not even going to acknowledge that.
We don't acknowledge that. You don't acknowledge what's his face. I don't acknowledge that Saudi match. He
That's
lost
fair.
to Taker.
I don't acknowledge any of the
He
GOAT
retired.
Saudi matches except for when Undertaker almost died, but that's the end of it.
Jeez.
Understood. So we've reached a part of the show, I believe, where I think it is safe for us to go ahead and allow Gabii, unless she has something else that she would like us to talk on, to go ahead and induct
I'm
someone.
taking over your show enough today. Thank you, though.
No,
maybe next time I'll come back and take over.
You've
again,
been
you know?
wonderful. Please come on again. It'll be a blast to have you on again. So I believe it's time for us to have you induct someone into our
Cool. Y'all
Rasslecast.
list.
I love it. Into our Rasslecast Power Hour Hall of Fame. So you have not told us anything. You have the list. Gabii, who would you like to induct into the hallowed halls?
So, like, I'm actually a little torn on this.
Okay.
So I have somebody who, when I first heard about it, I wanted to induct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I got your list,
Okay.
and then I was like, "Fuck! Like,
So
why isn't somebody on this list?"
So I can tell you.
So, like, I'm torn between, like, do I induct the person who, like, should be on this list, or do I, like, induct the shorty who I wanted to induct? So, like, I'm kind of torn.
Well, I can fix that because Mark Rob, we haven't inducted anybody in a while, right? So how do you feel about her putting both of them in?
I mean, she just bigged up Logan Paul, so I don't feel comfortable with it. But because she does have two I's in her name, we'll go ahead and allow it.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark Rob, for that logic. So our list has been built since we started the pod, and usually it's when we have a new guest come on that we put people in now. But the first year and a half was wild, where we literally were just throwing names, and there's probably people we've missed that we said was in there that should be on the list because we lost the original list, and then this is Mark Rob's rebuilt list. So who would you like to put in? You can now have two nominees.
So my OG, who I think should be on this list, is Jay Lethal. Why? But y'all got ACH, and I know why ACH is on here. We're not doing into that, but like, you can't have a Hall of Fame list without Jay Lethal. His work in Ring of Honor,
Yes.
Impact. Like, he, regardless if you like the man or not, like, his body of work is chef's kiss. Why? What's happening? So we gotta put Jay Lethal on. No one's nominated. You gotta go on.
Absolutely. You can put.
We gotta put Jay Lethal on here.
Jay Lethal goes in. Okay.
And for my women, who put Renee in here?
I don't remember.
And why?
Because they like Renee. They like Renee's work as and they like their podcast.
Her podcast sucks, but that's here nor there.
Oh dang! Dang! I don't think there's anything wrong with a little Renee.
This is Woman History
podcast.
Month. I mean,
Renee's podcast is like a get to know me session. Renee is not giving me the juice and giving me the goods that I feel like she should be getting. Her is like, hey, I know you. Let's talk for an hour about random things that everyone already knows about. Let's think about our kids and our cats. And it's like, no, girl, I want to hear Mark Henry talk about like very WWE. That's what I want to fucking hear. I don't want to hear you talk to Mark Henry about his kids. I don't want to talk to Jericho because I don't fuck with Jericho like that.
I don't need it anymore either.
I think that Jericho's work is great.
Mm-hmm. He's on
but
my
he's
top
a little
20.
Too blue lives matter for me, and I ain't got time
too many
for
Trump
it.
donations.
Too many, and then he was like, "Well, I nominated to both parties." It's like, well, but your wife was at like DC running around. Like, let's not.
Insurrection, and not the WWF.
You tried it. You tried it, Jericho. You tried it.
He did.
So yeah, my woman who I think should go in is a newcomer, and I just love her. Her name is Willow Nightingale.
Yes!
I love Willow.
Yes, we were just talking about Willow a few weeks ago, how much we love Willow.
I love Willow. I met Willow at the airport a couple weeks ago, and she just is just the cutest little thing.
Can you tell us your Willow Nightingale story, please?
So
Mark Rob stands.
I had a work trip. And it ended up aligning with when AEW was in Lexington. When they had the Briscoe Jay Lethal match. I happened to run it. I actually met Mark Briscoe at the airport too.
That's right, you did, wasn't it? Right after the night after the match.
Yep.
Crazy.
Ran into him. He sat behind me with Caprice on the airplane. But so yeah, I ended up running into like damn near all of the roster that day at the airport. And like I didn't fangirl because it was like, number one, it was literally 9 a.m. in the morning. Like no one has time for that. And you could just tell like Matt Hardy, he was there and I wanted to go talk to him, but he's looking like, get me the fuck home. And I was like, I'm gonna let you live. I did talk to Darby Allin for a little bit, and I talked to Willow for a little bit because Willow was also on my flight.
Nice.
But yeah, so like I met a bunch of them at the airport, and I just think the world of Willow, and like I love seeing Black women do the damn thing, and I just want to see her win. And I know she's challenged Athena on Ring of Honor. Hopefully one day she gets the Ring of Honor show. I think she's going to hang out Ring of Honor for a while. I think that AEW is going to use a Ring of Honor kind of like NXT.
Which is fine by me. I'm
not mad at it. They fucking need it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the ROH stuff that they've done so far here recently with the pay-per-view.
I enjoyed the show last night. It was actually really good. I was very much entertained, which is half the battle. So yeah, I think Willow Nightingale should go in there.
Okay. Hell yeah. Willow, welcome to the Hallowed Halls. We've already all have said how many times we're a big fan of you, and now you're in the Rasslecast Hall of Fame. Also, Willow, come on the show. I have DM'd you. I have hit you on Twitter, on Instagram. Whoa. I have added you. Please come on the show.
Slid into those DMs?
Yeah, it was professional though. It was, remember my first email to you? It was something like that.
I've slid into some DMs before, but they wasn't professional. That's here nor there.
I got you. I mean, guys, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take there, Gabii. That's
100%. That's there.
That's what Wayne Gretzky once said. Oh wow! So, wow, what a long, strange trip it's been, Gabii. You've been an absolute delight.
Hilarious.
An absolute
I don't know
delight.
How to take that. Like, is that a bad? Like, is it like a bad mushroom trip, or like was like a good trip? Like,
oh, you mean the long, strange trip it's been? I'm just saying that I usually when we have a new guest, and then we say, okay, this is the format. They're like, okay, we're just going to go along and
Nah.
follow along with them, and they laugh with us and stuff like this. And you just came in and said, I'm here.
I'm taking over. When I'm here,
and
baby, my show.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and we're gonna segue where I want to segue, and me and Mark Robert
My
just
bad.
along.
I didn't mean to take over y'all.
No.
My bad.
No, it kept things moving and exciting. It was super awesome. I really enjoyed it, Mark Rob.
Absolutely.
I knew he was gonna come through with the ad lib. So right there. So Gabii, it's been wonderful having you on the show. Do you want to shout out your socials one more time for everybody? So
You guys can find me on Instagram, TikTok as Hi Gabii. HIIGABII. I am continuing to do the Lord's work and converting the masses to wrestling fans. The Lord is my shepherd. Let's go.
Wonderful.
There it is.
Absolutely. So go follow Gabii. Go check out all her dope content. The road to WrestleMania continues for her. She's listing all her favorite matches and stuff, which I'm all about. I love a good list.
I just dropped the first one right before we got on.
Oh, see, I'm about to go check it out. Check it out and then share that bitch. That's what I'm about to do. So,
I hate it here.
All right.
well, I'm just saying I will share it.
Finna share that bitch.
Gotta put emphasis on that. Shh.
I didn't sound like that. I sounded like a professional podcaster. So
this was fun. Thank you for having me.
It was
on.
absolutely
I appreciate
fun.
it. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy me and invite me back later.
Yes,
I don't know. I may
we
have
would
ruined
love
it
to have you
because,
on.
I just went rogue, and that's fine.
sometimes you got to go rogue, man. It just happens like that.
Yes, you
That's
gotta go rogue.
quite all right. So for all y'all listening out there in podcast land, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. Rasslecast Power Hour coming loud in full effect. Next time, we will get back together and bring you something new, just like we always do here at the Rasslecast. And from, I guess the only thing left to say is let our secretaries will see you out, man. So
Logan Paul? Really?
yes.